All right, let me check to see if this went live. All right, we're good. So today is December 4th, 2017. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. These are my opinions. So we're going to do a market recap first today. And then I got a question in chat on the last stream that I didn't see until after the stream, and then it got posted in comments. So I'm going to go over that question, which was what makes the coins different. That wasn't the exact wording, but that was the question. And then I'm going to talk about the coins of the day. So for the market recap, let me refresh this. It seems pretty much everything is up today. Bitcoin's up 2.67%, up to $1,690, averaged across the different trading platforms. Ethereum's up a little less than 1%. Bcash is up about 0.5%. Ripple's up a small amount. IOTA is up 40%. Get that out of here. Dash is up 0.5%. Litecoin's up 2%. Neo is up 11%. EOS is up 7%. BitShares is up 21%. Just looking for some of the coins that we talk about. Bitcoin Dark, no, we don't really talk about that one. It's up 14.8% though. Well, we'll look at those when they're on the exchanges, but the overall market cap is up to $350 billion today. So I think this is an all-time high for the market. It seems that we've begun passing the wall that I was talking about in the last video, but we'll have to see if it continues like that. I still at the moment don't recommend buying a bunch of Bitcoin. If you're wanting Bitcoin, maybe buy a portion of what you're wanting. Say, I wouldn't bother with buying it in Bitcoin unless you're buying over at least $100 or more worth. If you're buying Litecoin or Dash, it doesn't matter quite as much, but I recommend buying in increments. That's what I do. So rather than trying to call a top or a bottom and buying everything at once when you think it's the bottom, I buy in segments. So that lowers my risk of either losing a bunch of money, and then also I don't have the chance to make quite as much money, but I plan on doing most of my making money once I actually have the coins, not while I'm waiting for Coinbase to give them to me. So either do an instant buy or just segment in your buys. So currently, the market doesn't seem to think that Bitcoin's going to crash just yet. I'm sure it'll still crash at some point and then go back up higher than where it crashed from, but For the moment, it's staying pretty strong. We can look at the past 2-day graph since I didn't do a stream last night. So last night it went up and then it broke that wall and just spiked up, chilled for a bit, and then had a pretty significant dip down to 10,500, and then has since recovered to 11,589 on this exchange. So I'll cover one of the coins that we take a look at sometimes, which is IOTA, which had a spike today. Well, it had a spike. It's pretty much just it's had drops, but it's been going up largely since it was released. It hasn't been on this particular exchange for a crazy amount of time, but I think the cheapest that you could have got it was like 16 cents, however long ago. I personally didn't buy it until it was 88 cents. I think I bought some at 50 cents and then I sold it, and then I bought some more when it was going back up. I don't know if it went up or down from when I sold it at the time, but I bought it back at 88 cents while it's been going back up. And then you can see it went up from the 27th through the 28th and then fell a little bit, flatlined, and then had a spike up. What is this? The 3rd through the 4th. So today and yesterday. I think the highest it hit today, it was 0.000272 Bitcoin, which is somewhere around, I think it was somewhere around $2.90. I sold part of my position in IOTA because I think that it was getting pumped. So I sold some at $2.88. I sold it on the way up. I didn't even wait for it to start going down. Because I wasn't selling everything, I sold a little bit once I was satisfied with buying it at 88 and selling it at 288. So I sold it somewhere in here, and then it kept going up for a little bit. I felt a little bit bad, but I figured it had to make a pullback at some point, and it started making a pullback. So we'll see if it's to continue up or crash. I know there's been a lot of interest in IOTA of late, especially today, since it's up 36% today. But I thought that this would be a good coin to cover as differences between coins. Now, in order to cover the differences between every coin, I would have to talk about every coin. But so for today, I'm just going to compare Bitcoin and IOTA. If there's another specific coin that you want me to compare or explain, you can always ask that in the comments, and I'll cover it in the next video. But IOTA, so for Bitcoin runs off of what's called the blockchain, and that means that all of the transactions that you make with Bitcoin are powered by miners who use their computers to solve algorithms in what's called blocks, and whoever solves the last algorithm in a block, or whatever group of people does, they get the Bitcoins that are in that block. So that's how Bitcoins are created. there won't be any more blocks after there's 21 million Bitcoins, but it just gets more and more difficult to mine them. So I don't know exactly what year that is. I don't know if it's in like 9 years or something. But it might be longer than that. I'm not sure. But the way that Bitcoin works is proof of work. So you earn Bitcoin by doing work with your computer. So you can leave your computer running and the graphics card will be solving these blocks. And whenever a block gets solved, transactions go through. So the people mining on their computer are who the transaction fee goes to. The transaction fee goes to them. So they get Bitcoins from the blocks, and then they also get the transaction fees from just mining in general. And so the miners are incentivized by the fees. So the less miners there are and the more people making transactions, the higher the fees go. The more miners and the less transactions, the lower the fees go. And the blockchain is a ledger of every Bitcoin transaction ever made. And whenever someone is running the blockchain, they have a ledger of all the transactions. So if you can download the blockchain to your computer, it'll be a kind of a big file because there's been a lot of transactions. But so that's how transactions are made and how all of the transactions are verified. They're verified by the miners while they're mining. And then IOTA doesn't use a blockchain. IOTA uses what's called a tangle. And this means for IOTA, there are no miners. We can actually go to their website, but so instead of having a miner verify your transaction and put in the work to get a transaction fee, IOTA has zero transaction fees. And the way that works is every time you send a transaction, you verify 2 transactions before you. So if everyone, whenever they send a transaction, are verifying 2 transactions, that means that there'll always be twice as many transactions being verified as there are being made. So that makes it so that there's no fees, and you don't have to rely on miners to get your transactions through, and quicker transaction times, more scaling to how many transactions you're making, because say there a ton of more people want to make transactions. Well, with IOTA, the number of people verifying transactions just goes up when the number of people making transactions goes up. So it's not relying at all on miners. So that's the key thing that makes IOTA different. Instead of using a blockchain, they use a tangle, which is, I think, a distributed ledger. Let's see. If I just type in finding their website. So they talk about the Internet of Things. Learn more. So this is just on their website. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so it scrolls section at a time, I think. Oh my gosh. I can just click on the side. Thank God. That's kind of annoying to use. So this talks about the ledger, computational fog station, smart energy grid, and sensors. So it says, in this autonomous machine economy, IOTA will be the backbone. The Tangle ledger is able to settle transactions with zero fees, so devices can trade exact amounts of resources on demand, as well as store data from sensors and data loggers securely and verified on the ledger. So that's kind of what I was talking about, where there's no fees. So here's their picture representation of the Tangle. The main innovation behind IOTA is the Tangle, a revolutionary new blockless distributed ledger, which is scalable, lightweight, and for the first time ever makes it possible to transfer value without any fees. So that's their big selling point, is having no fees because they have no miners. Contrary to today, so what they call themselves the third generation version of cryptocurrency, where Bitcoin was generation 1, and then Ethereum calls themselves generation 2, IOTA calls themselves generation 3. So certain coins run on the way that Bitcoin works. Ethereum has its own style of blockchain. So Bitcoin has its blockchain, Ethereum has its own style of blockchain, and then IOTA made another blockless style. So you can't really say blockless style of blockchain, but it says, contrary to today's blockchain's consensus is no longer decoupled, but instead an intrinsic part of the system, leading to decentralized and self-regulating peer-to-peer network. And people can do more than just transfer money on it. They can build applications on there, just like people can build applications on Ethereum. So a lot of the coins are built on Ethereum, and then for Bitcoin, a lot of the coins are built using Ethereum or Bitcoin's blockchain. So coins can have websites that are on these that run on Ethereum or run on IOTA, things like that. So this is just talking about microtransactions and how there's no fees. So when you send it, I guess you pay to get it verified, but then you're also verifying back, so then you get paid it back. So I guess there's two people verifying your transaction, so half of that goes to each of them, and then you verify two people's transactions. You don't physically do that. Your computer just automatically does it when you make the transaction. It's not like you need to go on there and look and know anything about computers, thinking, all right, I got to go verify someone's transaction. So that's just automated. But yeah, so that kind of explains the difference between some of the coins. If there's another coin specifically that you'd like to know the difference for, just ask. As far as the price of IOTA, I'm holding a little bit, but like I said, I sold some as I see that it's up a ton. Just in one day, it's up 32.66%. Earlier today, I know it was up 40%, which is just crazy for one day, especially considering I'm pretty confident they have not released any news. So I think the biggest investors in this are in the US, but the second biggest investors are in Korea. So either way, I think that people saw that it was really flat and then just gave it a push, and then it started pumping itself. So long term, I think that this potentially could be a good coin. I was planning on holding it for a while, but when in such a short period of time, it went from what I bought it at 88 cents or so to $2.88. I figured that wasn't sustainable for less than a month of. I don't even think I had it for a month. I can't remember the exact date I bought it on, but it's definitely gone up a lot. So let's cover some of the other coins of the day, because we've just covered what makes the coins different. And now, so we are on to coins of the day. Let me move my phone away. All right. So we'll just sort this by change. I have no clue what that is. Oh, actually, I do know what that is. That's Monaco. Monaco, I don't think you want to buy right now because it's definitely getting pumped. Up 121% for the day. Now, if you had got it when it started curving out like this, you'd have been in good shape, because that usually means it's about to go up, and it seems other people also thought that and bought it, and it's been skyrocketing. But I mean, you never know how high it's going to go before it drops. I personally saw it when it was right here. It was wherever I checked it. It was at around $10, which was earlier today, and I saw that it was being pumped and thought to myself, I think that it could drop anytime. So that was when it was up 50 or 60% for the day. So I decided not to buy it, but because I just didn't want to have the volatility at the time. And it did end up falling, but then it got pumped again. So now even from my buy-in point, I would have been up about 60%. But I did not buy any of that. I wasn't doing a bunch of day trading today or anything like that. The only coin that I really traded today was, I decided to trade Yo-Yo. I actually had no clue what it was, but I saw it get pumped the other day and knew it was a pump, so I decided not to buy it. And because I tend to do long term for most of my investing, but like I said, I have a couple hundred, or like, depends on the day, but 200 to 500 that I like to just mess around with and see if I can turn it into more. So I saw it went from 10 cents to 14 cents, or 9 cents to 14 cents the other day. And then today it went up to, it had dropped back some, and then was going back up. And I decided to buy some at 16 cents. And then I was just keeping an eye on it. I sold some at, I bought it at 16, sold it at 19, and then bought some more at 20 and sold it at 24. And now I don't have any. I've sold all of it. It went up higher than where I sold it. I sold it at, so the last four digits are 2360. I sold mine at either 2100 or 2200. So that could continue going up, but I'm not going to count on it. So I'm banking on it having a pullback at some point here, so I'm not holding it. And I don't like sleeping on coins that I don't trust. So just while I had free time and was watching it, I messed around with that. So we already covered IOTA. Storage is a version of cloud storage that's decentralized. That's potentially a good long-term It's up 38%. It's the same thing pretty much as Litecoin, which is they're competitors for a similar market. Litecoin, I'm pretty sure, is not on this site, but is up today. Yeah, here's Litecoin. So Litecoin's up 22%, storage is up 37%. Usually they both go up on the same days. BitShares is up 22%. That one is a short-term hold for me. Binance was a long-term hold for me. It's up 10.5%. I think last stream it was around $2 or $2.21. That's what I'm remembering. But let's see what else we've got. Neo is supposed to be kind of, it's a coin that was created in China. And so it was going up quite a bit, and then it crashed after China made some laws, and then I think it's been starting to recover over the past couple of days. So that it might be a good time to buy some Neo. I have been considering getting some today. So I could look at the graph for the day. So yeah, well, this isn't for the day. These are 2-hour tickers, but so you can see it fell, kind of flatlined, spiked up, fell again, but flatlined at the same point. So that's usually a good sign. And then went up really fast, fell some. So if it either starts going back up, I might pick some up, or if it hits this level. If it hits this level where that seems to be the bottom, I will be picking it up for sure, and then holding it until I'm satisfied with how much it's gone up, or just depending on if news comes out, then I might hold it longer. But this is my desired buy-in point, but if it starts making a U right here, and I think it's going to just keep going up more, but at the moment it's making a pullback after that giant jump that it did earlier today. All right, let's see. There's a lot of greens today. EOS was another one of my long-term holds. It is up today. It had a higher high, but it's still up 1.11%. Had a $3.84. If I zoom out more, yeah, it's just been going up. This is the 11th. Let's see if I go out farther. So this is the October 11th. So this is when it was listed on this exchange. Binance is a reasonably new exchange, I think. So they've been listing more coins, but yeah, so as you can see, it's just been with little zigzags, but it's been just steadily growing. So I think that's a good coin to have. I've done the research on the coin too. For long-term coins, I don't base that on how the chart looks. I'm covering the chart because that's what's in front of us. But if someone wants me to cover that coin specifically, I can do that in a video like I did with IOTA. So, all right, so this isn't compared to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's up. These coins are up in dollars, but down in Bitcoin. Litecoin, Bitcoins, I hold a little bit of both of those. Dash, we talked about. Dash is at 754, so still holding after those gains. If I look at it in dollars, we can see it's actually up or down in dollars. So it's down 0.78% in dollars for the past 24 hours. See if anything that we've been talking about got hit harder today. No. Well, I mean, we mentioned Bitcoin Diamond as something that you shouldn't buy, and I guess that was correct. If you could see, only these are just the futures got released recently, but after the initial spike, it's just been steadily going down. So I definitely wouldn't buy that coin. If you get it for free, sell it. Or you can hold it in the beginning. If and when it gets listed on other exchanges, it'll probably do what it did on this exchange, which is spike up and then start going down. So you could wait for it to spike up and then sell some of it, or buy some before it spikes up. But if you're trying to buy it right when it gets listed, just be really wary, because you're going to be buying it at prices that's more than what it's worth, likely. And if you end up holding it too long, you could end up losing quite a big chunk of your money. It's down, I think, like 50% from where I sold it, but I sold it on I got it for free. I didn't buy extra, but I sold it on the spike. I didn't get very much of it because I don't have all of my Bitcoin on exchanges, so I'll have to wait for it to get released. I just happened to have a little bit of Bitcoin at the time that it was released. I didn't even know they were going to be giving it to me that day. I looked at my account balance, saw it in there, and then Googled it. So that covers all the coins for today. If you've got any questions, just leave them in the comments, and I will answer those questions in the next video. Thanks for watching.